So this past week, we all had the lovely pleasure of watching the Game Awards 2023. From the nominations to the mistreatment of developers to the overuse of celebrities in comparison to previously mentioned devs, to transphobes crying that the Wizard game wasn't nominated for anything when that game isn't that good and simply got popular because of controversy, we have a delicious amount of mess to sort through when discussing the Game Awards. Ignoring all of this though, the FGC had their fair share of representation in the Game Awards as well, with Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, Tekken 8, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and more seeing nominations in different categories. The problems going down that we're seeing now is that there's a lot of debate over Street Fighter 6 winning the title of Fighting Game of the Year, Mortal Kombat being nominated for any of these categories in the first place, the entire list feeling rather lackluster, Mortal Kombat's other nominations, etc. So today I decided to tackle the discourse surrounding the Game Awards along with some of my other thoughts on the show. But before we start, hi, I'm Zak Not Kyle, or Zak for short, and I talk about video games as they pertain to creative writing and popular culture. I'm currently studying for my BFA and MFA in creative writing, and I'd love if you stuck around for some funny, goofy content. Subscribe with the silly red button, like this video, and comment your thoughts on the situation below. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are in the description. I also have a Discord you guys can join, and I stream on my YouTube channel a couple times a week if you're interested. And without any further ado, let's get into it. So where better to start this conversation than the big award for the FGC, the Fighting Game of the Year award. So we had to look at all of our contenders, and this will be brief. Starting with God of Rock, it's not going to win when Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1 are there. Pocket Bravery is too bare bones to win in this category as well. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl also wouldn't take it with the juggernauts there. So now we move into the two massive players in this category. It really came down to Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 6. Mortal Kombat 1 actually got backlash for getting nominated at all, even though looking at our other options, it does not surprise me. If we looked at next year, then yeah, maybe there would be some ground to stand on, considering we're getting Under Night In-Birth 2, we're getting Tekken 8, we're getting Rivals 2, we're getting a lot of new things in the scene. But this year, there just wasn't a lot to go for. The bar was in the basement, not the floor, and Street Fighter 6 was all but confirmed to be in the running at the very least. The winner on the night of the Game Awards would end up being Street Fighter 6. So why did Street Fighter 6 win? So let's break down the different aspects of Street Fighter 6 versus Mortal Kombat 1 in order to understand the loss that Mortal Kombat 1 took. Starting with the meta, even though there's characters that are more powerful than others, every character in Street Fighter 6 is viable in some way, allowing you to play how you want. Even characters that are less used like Blanca, Lily, and Dalzim are still usable. Mortal Kombat 1 is not a game where you can say the same. The game is dominated by Raiden, Johnny, Melina, Garrus, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion. Harder characters like Natara and Tanya are not viable in many circumstances because they just don't compare in terms of the other characters shown above them. I'm pretty sure some pro players describe Natara as playing 10 times harder than everyone else. Then let's talk about monetization. I wanted to make a larger video on this because the Mortal Kombat community is intensely hypocritical for bashing Mortal Kombat 1's monetization of fatalities and skin and then praising Street Fighter 6. I'm sorry, you can't. It's scummy on both sides, but you need to criticize or be okay with both. Pick a side. Personally, I'm okay with both because I'm used to monetization in video games, so it's not the most out there thing for me, but it's a bit disappointing. Then there's the differences in cosmetics. Most of Street Fighter's cosmetics are locked behind a paywall, while Mortal Kombat 1's can be earned through the game. However, some skins for Mortal Kombat 1 are also gated by a paywall. As far as gameplay is concerned, Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1 play vastly differently from one another. Street Fighter 6 is certainly more visually appealing though. I think I described on one of my streams Street Fighter 6 being the better game to watch, but Mortal Kombat 1 being the better one to play. At least that's just me. On top of this, the environment of Street Fighter 6 as well as the concepting and design is far superior compared to MK1. While they have distinctly different vibes, Street Fighter 6 just gets you more hyped for the game you're playing. In terms of features, Street Fighter 6 also wins. Street Fighter 6 has lobbies, intense multiplayer, crossplay, and more. Mortal Kombat 1 is nowhere near where it should be with multiplayer right now, so much so that their win for best multiplayer game at the Golden Joysticks was contested by even the fans. And I agree, it shouldn't have won for multiplayer when basic things like crossplay aren't even available, along with a bug where player 2 had a frame disadvantage for months in the beginning of the game. How the fuck does that happen? As far as developer treatment, Street Fighter 6 also wins. Street Fighter has a lot of transparency, artwork, concepts, all shared with fans, active changes, collabs, feedback, and bug fixes. Mortal Kombat, on the other hand, has a notorious history with being awful with fan relations, cultivating an extremely toxic fan base, developers that don't know when to shut their mouths on social media, and commonly having issues with their creators, which I'm talking about in a different video. But all of this just contributes to a bad fan environment that makes it easy to see why Street Fighter 6 seems like the better fan base. I think with all this presented, it sounds like Street Fighter 6 is the obvious no-brainer for the win. However, there's a few Mortal Kombat creators that seem to think otherwise, and they're getting completely clowned for it. I'm specifically talking about True Underdog Gaming and various smaller creators and players whining over this loss. So let's go ahead and read this tweet from Underdog. I believe Mortal Kombat 1 deserved Fighting Game of the Year, more characters to play, story mode mode and invasion mode with seasons, more costumes and unlocks, rewards for ranked matches. You can prefer the gameplay of Street Fighter 6 more, but I believe MK1 offers more content. Taking this point by point, more characters does not mean it's better. Invasion's quickly disappointed the fan base. Even though it's not the worst, and I think they're getting better with it, it still was a disappointment at launch. Story mode is mixed, but better than Street Fighter, I'll definitely give you that. But more costumes is not necessarily better either. Street Fighter 6 puts far more work into World Tour and making sure there are a lot of costume options and customizations there, and every single outfit for every roster member right now is a hit, and it's conceptual, nostalgic, etc. MK1 not so much. They're quantity over quality, which isn't to say they're necessarily bad, it's just Street Fighter 6 you can tell there's a lot more effort. Rewards for ranked matches are fair as well. However, Underdog also just casually decided to not discuss the bugs on release, the still broken meta, the lack of crossplay, the lackluster single player content that was promised that many people finish instantly, and the microtransactions of both games being outrageous but Mortal Kombat 1 getting a lot of heat for it. It's no wonder that Underdog was being clowned all over FGC Twitter for this, with everyone saying MK is quantity over quality. I don't think there's low quality to the game, but Street Fighter 6 really tries to make the game an enjoyable multiplayer experience you naturally want to return to, while Mortal Kombat's experience is made to push content that forces you back, not making you want to come back naturally for most of the FGC. Also, something I haven't mentioned is the FGC doesn't like Mortal Kombat, which is an entire video in and of itself. Let's think about the invasions mode of Mortal Kombat, for example. If skins weren't given out, I doubt many people would be drawn to the game. However, Street Fighter 6 having low reward incentives and still retaining a player base like the way they are is rather impressive. It shows that the necessity of rewards as a way to fuel motivation work for Mortal Kombat because they need to retain casuals, with the equivalent of ADHD Subway Surfers videos playing next to Family Guy clips, while Street Fighter 6 gives you gameplay that is consistent with many other modern fighting games, hence the basic appeal. So where does this leave us? It leaves us with the conclusion that Street Fighter 6 deserves the award, and Mortal Kombat fans will stay mad. I think if Mortal Kombat wants to be fully considered as the best of the best in the court of public opinion, they need to fix the game and fast. The first impression wasn't great, which gave Street Fighter 6 the award no problem, and now Mortal Kombat's going to be under a microscope for the coming months, and hopefully they'll be able to get out of it. Alright, also let's finish out the video with some of my miscellaneous thoughts on the show. The Last of Us winning adaptation was correct. The celebrities took up so much screen time and it hurt so much. Kratos' VA slamming the Call of Duty campaign was so funny and unironically the best part of the show. Oh my god. I'm so happy Sea of Stars is getting so many new players. Baldur's Gate winning Game of the Year was so unsurprising, we all called this, right? How the fuck did Forza Motorsport win in accessibility and innovation? Can someone explain that please? I'm genuinely curious. And Iron Mouse getting death threats over winning Content Creator of the Year is actually insane. Y'all need to touch grass. Please go outside. But that is where I'll leave this video. What did you think of the Game Awards? Did you like any of the presenters or the devs that were showcased? Are you excited for any upcoming games? Do you think Street Fighter 6 deserved the award? Do you think Mortal Kombat deserved the award? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, I'm currently running late to stream as I'm recording this, so I should probably get on that. Bye, sis.